Hey guys, I'm here with my baby.
Yeah, which my nickname is Bonee.
This is my fiance right here.
You could also see my channel too.
Yes, I recommend checking his channel out too.
I'm probably making videos.
But his channel's really good. It's called Bonee Bonee.
Yeah.
But I recommend checking out my baby.
So baby, so what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to be talking about the Wendigo. And to get into the story, to make it even better, I am wearing my Wendigo shirt.
Yeah, I was seeing like you got like, a lot of copies of stuff you
I did some research on this.
Some research. And I got some background stories.
Yeah.
Too.
So we're going to go like a little bit back and forth and say things.
I'll let you start off though.
Okay. So it said, the Wendigo is often said to be a malevolent spirit. And sometimes it's depicted to have human-like features, like this creature with human-like features and characteristics. Mm-hmm. I know. And it's known to invoke like the feelings of insatiable hunger and greed.
So it'd be like a really greedy person. Basically.
Like someone that's, say they're starving.
Yeah.
And they went to and turned cannibalistic and ate somebody.
Like, let's say like a millionaire, for instance, playing, and there was like 5 other people, and he was starving. Yeah. Basically like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's actually also a form of psychosis known as Wendigo psychosis.
Now that's where I got a story on that.
And it causes the person that's affected by it to have this really intense craving for human flesh.
Now, at psychosis, there was, I think in 1807, that there was a little boy. He was in the wild he got raised by a pack of wolves.
Really?
And there was also a part of the story where two little baby girls got raised by a pack of wolves. Oh. But this dude actually got raised by a pack of wolves. And they took the dude from the wolves. And when they did it, they said he ate nothing but raw meat, and he craved human flesh. Oh. And they said when they took him from the wolf pack, he started getting sick. Like, real bad sick and start dying. You
think that might have been where he got used to, like, eating like wolves or something?
Yeah, but when they took him back, it wasn't like 10 weeks later he died, though. Now, the other story everybody knows this about the 2 girls getting raised by him. Now, the actual story of that, and which you could actually look the story up, when they got to them, they said there was nothing they could do. They was pure wild children.
So, like, there was no person, like, nobody there.
There was nobody there. They weren't even the same kids. They weren't even sisters. Yeah. Believe it or not, they weren't even sisters. And they craved human flesh, too. Whoa. Because the wolves ate their moms, and the little girls ate their moms with them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's scary. And it says, also, a person suffering from Wendigo psychosis also has the very, very intense fear of becoming a cannibal. Like, they're afraid that they could possibly turn into a cannibal.
I don't think I can do that.
I couldn't either. And it says, Wendigos are also very, very strongly associated with winter, the north, coldness, famine, and starvation.
Now, the kids, they said when they found them, they had calluses on their knees and then on their hands. And they said they was really used to cold weather. And they said when they got them and they put them indoors, they started getting sick and stuff like that because
they got used to
all the warm weather just overwhelmed them.
And I guess where they got used to that cold.
And there was like one boy got raised by monkeys.
Oh.
And when he got raised by monkeys, and they tried taking him from the monkeys, which is basically like our true Tarzan, basically. But they was little monkeys. They said when they went to take him from him, the monkeys started throwing fits, and they had sleep dart the monkeys.
Whoa, that's scary. And there's also a scholar from Ontario that actually gave his own description of what a Wendigo would look like. And it goes like this. The Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation. Its desiccated skin was pulled tightly over its bones, and its bones were pushing out against the skin. And the color of its like complexion was the ash gray of death. And they said the eyes was pushed back deep into their sockets, and that the Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton that was recently disinterred from the grave. And that the Wendigo had, what lips that it had was tattered and bloody. And some people even say where they don't really have no lips is where their hunger was so great that they ate their own lips.
Yeah.
And,
so you imagine, like way back then, there was, I can't remember the story, but I know it's a true story. Mm-hmm. There was a plane wreck, and there was maybe 3 survivors, and they actually went killing them. And they actually started, but they was eating the dead, though.
Could you really imagine eating somebody?
And it was in the winter, though.
Oh.
And it was in the winter, and the plane wreck,
and they probably didn't have a whole lot to eat,
16 people on the plane, and there was only 3 survivors left. And they said they found matted clothes, bones of everybody laying around, and the people did not even look anybody in the eye. When the rescue team came and found them, they would not look anybody in the eye. Because they know what they did wrong, but they were starving to death.
I still don't think I could eat somebody if I was starving.
The whole town disgraded them. They had nothing to do with them.
Oh, they just practically disowned them then.
Yeah.
Yikes. And then it also says, unclean and suffering from separation of the flesh, the Wendigo gave off this strange and eerie smell, like odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. And there's a little bit more that we've got.
Yeah.
There's actually other lores that people had, like other tribes, and they believe that whenever a Wendigo ate another person, that it would grow in proportion to the meal that it had just eaten. So, it's always hungry. And that might be why they was so skinny.
So, like, say it ate a Cherokee tribe member. So, it would most likely gain their energy, but not gain any amount.
And it's still always hungry.
Yeah. And it's known that they can jump through trees really fast.
Yes, there's been things people said they're really fast, and that you don't even know they're there. Yeah. And the Wendigo is also able to mimic human voices, which are often cries for help.
So imagine that's probably the cries that it heard when it was eating somebody.
Yeah.
And there's like one story of when the Wendigo, or dude was hiding behind a tree, and he heard the Wendigo say, "I'm sorry." But was still going to eat him, and he could hear him drooling and stuff over the flesh.
Yikes.
So you imagine the Wendigo probably felt sorry for eating for people.
Do you think maybe if a person turns into a Wendigo, maybe there's just a little bit of humanity left in them, maybe?
Probably not. There's probably a little bit, but there's nothing.
Because when you said that one, where this guy heard the Wendigo saying, "I'm sorry," maybe there was a little bit of humanity left in it.
Yeah, but the humanity's plumb gone, though.
And they're also said, in some stories I've heard, Wendigos will actually mimic voices of your loved ones.
Yeah.
Trying to lure you away.
Yeah.
And they've been known to use voices like that to lure a person away from civilization to get them isolated where they can strike and get them.
Yeah.
Very scary.
And there was like one which we've both heard this one, which we'll go ahead and tell the story basically. Alright, there was a little boy, his mom, and a dad. And they had a hill on top of the mountain. And when they had this hill on top of the mountain, the boy would go out there and feed, and they had a barn. And they had like a single wide trailer basically. And so they had the hill up behind the trailer, the barn over here. And the boy would go out there and feed. And one night they was going to bed. And the boy, he had the window and it was pointed right towards the hill.
Yeah.
Well, his dad went to go out there to check and make sure the barn was locked and stuff like that. He said he heard this thing screaming from the top of the hill.
Yikes.
Well, the boy's looking out the window. Dad comes in, grabs the gun.
Yeah, and he said he saw this weird pale thing.
Screaming.
Yeah.
And then, like, when his dad hollered at it, it turned so fast that his dad could almost not imagine it. Well, his dad fired maybe 4 shots at it.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, he asked his dad what he seen. He said, "I don't know what I seen. It was gray, and it was really fast."
Yeah.
So